who is pocketing billions of dollars for himself while he drives up prices for the American people. He fears defeat in the midterms, and that explains his spiral into conspiracy theories. Conspiracy theories that put Georgia Republicans in a terrible bind. Because now not only do they have to defend this president's economic record, not only do they have to defend doubling health insurance premiums for more than 1 million Georgians, they also have to defend all of these bizarre conspiracy theories coming out of the White House. Finally, all this does is motivate Georgians to vote. All this does is galvanize the determination of Georgia voters to defy these cynical efforts to instill fear and intimidation. Happy to take a few questions.
Senator, you have said a lot of things about the president, called him corrupt. I believe you said he's acted deranged in the past. And now if he does come out and call for voter fraud, do you think it's time to invoke the 25th Amendment in your view?
I think it's time for the president to do something of value for the American people instead of lining his own pockets while he's in office.
Senator, Tia, do you have anything?
Yeah, I just talk about what could be the role of Congress. Like, there's so much speculation that the president this week could announce, whether his investigation, he's directed the Department of Justice to look into the election in Georgia. If he says he's found something and tries to get the Department of Justice to act, what can you or other members of Congress do, if anything?
Look, the abuses of power, the abuses of federal power, the misconduct is unprecedented. That is why Donald Trump so deeply fears his impending losses in these midterm elections, because he recognizes that when there's a change in the balance of power in Washington, there will be real transparency and accountability imposed, and he and those who have enabled him will have to answer for their misconduct.
Senator, have you had any sort of contact by the Department of Justice, by investigators? Has your campaign or anyone associated with you been contacted about any of your elections and asked questions about it as part of an investigation that you're aware of?
Not to my knowledge, no.
And to answer, just to kind of follow up on what Tia said, if they declare your election ineligible, what can you actually do about that to prevent some sort of lack of faith in the system to the voters of Georgia?
Again, just consider for a moment that we understand the president may be threatening to declare sitting United States senators illegitimate. If that is the course of action he pursues, he is calling Georgia voters illegitimate. From the very moment Georgia voters rejected him in 2020, he's been on the warpath because he was humiliated by the rebuke that Georgians dealt him. And he was humiliated and furious in particular as a committed lifelong racist that it was black voters in Georgia who were instrumental in his defeat.
Has the Senate Intelligence Committee seen any information about election interference in the 2020 elections?
I don't comment on Intelligence Committee matters.
Has anyone told you what exactly the president might even be accusing you or Warnock of doing here, or voters of doing?
No. We got time for one more question, guys.
What do you say to your Republican colleagues who may agree with the president on this?
I don't know of Republican colleagues who agree with the president on this. Privately, most elected Republicans in this building think the president has lost it and is dooming them to dismal losses this fall. Thank you all so much for your time.
Mike Collins agrees with them, though. Mike Collins agrees with them that the election was stolen.
Let's see how Mike Collins handles this now. Mike Collins launched his general election campaign doubling down on 2020 election denialism. Now he not only has to defend doubling health insurance premiums for more than 1 million Georgians, he has to defend these conspiracy theories about the 2020 election that Georgia voters have rejected time and time again. Thank you all so much. Thank you.
Thank you.